You cried, and then you felt embarrassed about it. Maybe it was a movie scene. Maybe it was a song. Maybe it was just one sentence someone said. And your first thought wasn't about the emotion. It was, why am I like this? This video is not going to tell you to stop crying. It is going to show you, using actual neuroscience, why your brain works this way. And by the end, you might stop calling it a weakness. If you cry easily. At night, you lie awake. A video of an animal being rescued, a scene in a movie. One sentence someone said that stayed in your chest. A memory that came back at exactly the wrong time. And after the tears came, another feeling arrived. Shame. You asked yourself, why do I cry so easily? Why does my body react before I even understand what I feel? Maybe the tears are not the strangest part. Maybe the strangest part is what happened before the tears. Your brain read something. Not just an image, not just a story, not just a sentence. It read meaning. It looks small from the outside, but inside, it carries something much bigger. Most people ask the wrong question about crying. They ask, is crying weak? Is crying good or bad? But for someone who cries easily, for you, the deeper question is different. Why did my body react so strongly? Why did something small feel so large? Why did I understand it logically, but still cry physically? Here is the simple mechanism. Your body does not only measure the size of an event, it measures emotional meaning. A short scene in a movie can carry loss. One sentence from someone can carry rejection. A memory can carry something you never fully released. Your logical mind may say, this is small, but your nervous system may say, this matters. So I'm not crying because the event is big? Not always. Sometimes you cry because the meaning became big inside you, before the tears. Crying is not the whole story. Crying is the visible ending of an invisible process. Before the tear appears, your brain has already done something. It connected the moment to emotion. It connected the emotion to memory. It connected the memory to safety, loss, love, or belonging. This can happen very fast, faster than words, faster than explanation, faster than your calm, reasonable mind. Why am I crying? It's not even my story. Because your brain was not watching a story. It was watching separation and return. The little animal was left alone. Then someone came back for it. The mind understands that. Your brain does not only ask, did this happen to me? It also asks, what does this mean? Is there pain here? Is there rescue here? Is there something I recognize? That is why a story that is not yours can still touch something inside you. In the ancient world, emotion was not decoration. Emotion helped the body decide what mattered. Fear meant, pay attention. Grief meant, something valuable was lost. Relief meant, danger has passed. Group. Belong. Pain. That simple? To the mind, yes, it can be that simple. Your ancient brain was built in a world where connection mattered deeply. Being seen mattered. Being accepted mattered. Being protected mattered. So today, when something carries emotional meaning, your body may still take it seriously, even if the situation looks small from the outside. But here is where it gets interesting. We have talked about why you cry. Now, let's talk about why the shame that comes after might actually be the more dangerous part. The simple science of crying. Emotional signal, brain reads meaning, nervous system activates, body changes, tears appear. It does not mean you are weak. It means your body is responding to emotional meaning. When the brain reads something as emotionally important, the body reacts. The throat tightens, the chest feels heavy, the breathing changes, the face warms, and the tear glands begin to release tears. So the tears are not coming from nowhere? No, they are the visible part of a larger reaction. That sounds strange. Still true. This is why saying, "just stop crying," often does not work. By the time tears appear, the body is already activated. The question is not only, how do I stop the tears? The better question is, what did my body just read as important? Sometimes, a small thing is not small to your nervous system. A movie scene can remind you of someone you lost. A kind act toward an animal can touch your need to protect the helpless. One sentence can sound like rejection. One disappointed look can feel like you are no longer enough. Your mind may say, "This is not a big deal," but your body may say, "This is connected to something old. This is connected to love. This is connected to loss. This is connected to belonging." So I'm not crying because I'm dramatic? Not necessarily. Sometimes you are crying because your body found a deeper layer. The event is the surface. The meaning is underneath. And tears often come from underneath. When you drop a small stone into a bowl that is already full, the water spills over. Not every emotion leads to crying. Tears are usually not the first emotion. They are often the final result after emotion has moved through the mind and body. When emotion passes a certain threshold, the body starts turning it into a physical response. The shame after crying. The hardest part is not always crying. Sometimes the hardest part is what you do to yourself afterward. You replay the moment. You remember who saw you. You wonder what they think. You tell yourself, "I should have controlled it. I looked weak. I made it awkward." Now, there are two pains. The first pain is the emotion. The second pain is the shame about the emotion. I don't want to feel like I'm too much. Too much feeling is heavy, but no feeling is dangerous too. Maybe you have spent years trying to become harder, but hardness is not the only form of strength. There is also the strength to notice, the strength to care, the strength to feel what others avoid. Not every tear needs to be shown to the world, but every tear deserves to be understood by you. So the next time tears come quickly, try not to begin with shame. Begin with curiosity. You do not need to blame yourself. Not, "Why am I so weak?" Instead, look back and ask, "What did my nervous system just read?" Not, "Why am I crying?" but, "What meaning became too heavy to hold in silence?" Your ancient brain does not always speak in sentences. Sometimes it speaks in silence, and sometimes in tears. That does not make you less human. It may be one of the oldest signs that you are human. You were not designed to feel nothing. You were designed to live with other people, to read faces, to sense loss, to care when something fragile is protected. And yes, sometimes to cry. So I don't need to become stone? Stone does not cry, but stone also does not feel. That was actually good. I save best wisdom for end. So maybe the goal is not to become someone who never cries. Maybe the goal is smaller. To stop calling every tear a weakness. To listen for the meaning underneath it. To ask your body gently, "What are you trying to tell me?" Because crying is not the whole problem. Crying is the visible ending of an invisible process. Your brain found emotional meaning before your mind found words. Thank you for watching Ancient Brain. If this helped you understand your mind in a calmer way, subscribe, and we will keep looking at modern problems through ancient survival instincts. See you in the next one.